Hi, welcome again to Abby's Creative Hands at Crochet. In this video we are going to be working on the front section of your vintage mesh fingerless gloves. In the previous video I have mentioned that you have already counted the loops that you have in the remaining front part of your vintage mesh fingerless gloves that you're working on. So you do have 6 loops remaining. So in here what we are going to do right now, we are going to work on this section in here where you see where you were working on your last loop from the back. And what we're going to do in here is the following. You are going to chain 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you are going to do a slip stitch on the following loop. This is your slip stitch here. You are going to repeat a 5 chain, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next, you are going to insert your hook in the next loop, and you are going to do a slip stitch. You are going to do a slip stitch in here. You are going to repeat 5 chains, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On the next loop, you are going to repeat a slip stitch. You are going to repeat 5 chains, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On the next loop, you're going to do another slip stitch. Again, you are going to do 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are going to do a slip stitch in that loop. And you're going to do another 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to insert your hook on your last loop, and you're going to do a slip stitch. Next, you are going to chain up 2, 1 and 2, and you are going to turn your work, and in the first loop you're going to count 1 and 2, and you're going to do a slip stitch right in that chain. You're going to count 5 now, 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you're going to do a slip stitch on the following loop. Again, you're going to chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you are going to do a slip stitch on the following loop. Another 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you're going to do a slip stitch on the following loop. Chain up 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, loop, do a slip stitch there. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain and a loop here. This is the last loop before you meet the back section of your glove. Here we are going to chain up 2 and you are going to turn your work again. And in the second chain from that 5th space chain, you're going to do a slip stitch. Let me remind you that my camera has only 8 minutes and I'm going 5-5 right now, and I am hopefully thinking that I could finish this in this video. If not, it will be another video. I'm very sorry. This will be chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do a slip stitch on that loop here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do a slip stitch in that loop here. Another 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a slip stitch here. Another 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch here. Chain up 2, 1, 2, turn your work again. In this one, you are going to just do a slip stitch in that loop and do 5 more chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue to do this until you have reached your last loop. That would be my other video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, loop, do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch. Chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work around and do a slip stitch there. Chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next loop, slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A loop here, and you will do a slip stitch. Okay, in here you are going to chain up 2 and you're going to turn your work, and you're going to chain up 5 and you're going to do a slip stitch here, and that will be your last 5 chains before you start on the middle part of your middle finger. So it's here 1, 2, you're going to turn your work and you're going to slip stitch here. You're going to chain up 5, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will be your last chain here. This would be